Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at District Noir by Pandasaurus Games.
District Noir is a two-player card game in which you are battling against the other player for control of the majority of the cards in a specific suit. Or, if you could have all three city cards, then you immediately win the game. Now this is a short, quick, and easy game. Shouldn't take very long for me to explain it to you, but let's go down to the table and I'll do that, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. Alright, I have District Noir on the table. Let me show you how this card game works. Now for components, what you have in this, well, obviously it's a card game, so you are going to have lots of cards. Now these cards are not your standard poker size cards, nor are they tarot size cards. They're a little bit more narrow than tarot size cards, but they are bigger than poker cards. As you can see, they're longer. So it's a bit of an odd size if you are someone who likes to sleeve your cards. You do also have one poker chip here that does have a little bit of weight to it. And it is different sides that you will keep. You'll use this to keep track of who is the first player for that round, as one player will be represented by this side and the other player will be represented by this side. Now, in this game, this is for two players, so you and another player, you will want to sit across from each other so that one player is sitting on this side and the other player is sitting on the other side. And you will make sure to remove two cards from the deck at the beginning of each round. You are going to be playing a maximum of 4 rounds in this game. And I say a maximum because the game could end sooner than that depending on one particular thing. Now, you'll have 2 cards set out here in the line, and then each player will have 5 cards in their hand, which they will keep secret from the other players. Excuse me. Now, some things to go over with the cards. There are going to be cards that come in 6s, 7s, 8s. There will also be 5s in the game. This is the other player's hand. And there will be some green cards with positive numbers on them, and there will be some red cards with negative numbers on them. There will also be 3 city cards in the game. And that's all the cards there are in the game. Now, you do also have some player aids that will help you to know the distribution of the cards and how many points they're worth in the game. These are double-sided. Each player gets one to help them remember what's the distribution of the cards in the game. So, this is the setup, and it's this player's turn to go first. And on your turn, you have one of 2 choices. You can play one card from your hand to the furthest right on this line. So let's go ahead and do that right now, and let's play this 8 here. And that would be the end of this player's turn, and it would go over to the other player, and they have the same option. They can play one card from their hand, or they can take the last 5 cards in the line. Now, as you can see, there aren't 5 cards right now, so you would take only the number of cards that are available up to 5. But let's just pretend that there had been more than 5 out here. And in this case, I could take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would take all 5 of these cards, and I would place them face up in my player area, grouping like numbers like so. And so that would be that. Now, once I've taken that action of taking the last 5 cards in the line, I cannot take that action for the rest of the round. I am stuck with just playing the card that's in my hand to the right of the line when it's my turn. And then the other player would then still be able to take their 5 cards when they have 5 that come out like so. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would be that. And then if you have any cards that are left in your hand, you're still going to end up playing them because you are going to take 6 turns each round. And you'll know when you've taken 6 because you won't have any cards left in your hand because you start with 5, and one of your actions has to be to take the most 5 recently played cards. And so those are 6 actions. And when both players have done all 6 actions, that's the end of the round. Now, any cards that are in the line out here will stay in the line, and you will deal each player 5 more cards, and you will flip the token so that the other player gets to go first, and you'll repeat the same process that I described to you just a minute ago. Now, what is it that you're trying to do? Well, There are 5 5s in the game, there are 6 6s in the game, there are 7 7s, and there are 8 8s. And at the end of the game, when you've done 4 rounds, you want to have the majority of the 5s, and if you have the majority of the 5s, then you will get 5 points. If you have the majority of the 6s, you will get 6 points. If you have the majority of the 7s, you'll get 7, and if you have the majority of 8s, you will get 8 points. For every one of these positive green cards, you will score that many points that is on the card. For any negative red cards that you might have, you will lose those points. Whoever has the most points at the end of 4 rounds is going to be the winner. And that's all there is to this game. Now, I mentioned that there is one way that the game can end sooner, and that is that if any time someone has all 3 city cards in front of them because they've claimed them out of the line, they automatically win the game. And that might happen before the end of 4 rounds. And that's the gist of the game. So you either want to have all 3 city cards, or you want to try to get the majority in these different sets, having the green cards, shying away from the bad red cards, wherever that one went, there it is. And whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. And that's how you play District Noir. Now let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. And we're back, and now we're going to share our gamer and non-gamer thoughts on District Noir. Now, Sam, this is a 2-player game, and I feel like 2023 has been the year of 2-player games. Just feels like there's been a lot of 2-player games, and this is another entry in that 2-player list. Now, I think this is a game that is as simple as can be teach with this one. I mean, you're telling people you want to get the majority of the 5s, you want to get the majority of the 7s, you want to get the majority of the 8s, or you want to try to get all 3 city cards.
Yeah.
And that's really all there is to it. And as far as what you're doing on your turn, you're playing a card. Or once per the entire round, you're going to claim the last 5 cards that you see out there. Hopefully they're good cards. Otherwise, don't do that. Don't claim the 5 cards. And that's it. That's all there is to this game. And I'll tell you, when I first learned about this game, it was at Gen Con. Somebody explained it to me. And remember, I worked for Pandasaurus at Gen Con. And I heard them talk about this game, and my initial response was, that sounds dumb. That does not sound like a game that I or Sam or anybody I know would probably want to play. And yet I went home with a copy of it, tried it out with Sam, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the experience. It was something that was interesting to me, and it was something that I wanted to sit down and play again. So it surprised me a lot with just how simple this game is, and yet how fun and enjoyable the experience was. What was it like for you, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, it was I think it took me a second because it sounds so simple that I was like, there has to be more to it than this. But no, it was a pretty straightforward game, and I had a good time playing it. It's fairly quick, too. Yeah.
Now, we played this one while we were camping. We played it in our pop-up camper, and not even on a table, for that matter. We played on a bed. And so I think it goes to say with that this game can be played just about anywhere because it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It's just a deck of cards, and the game lasts 15 minutes, right? So you're not, even if you're playing on a bed, you're not there for an hour. You're gonna get in a cramp because you've been sitting in the wrong position for a long time.
Yeah.
This is a real quick and easy game, and going back to how enjoyable it is. Just if you're going off just the explanation of it, you might feel like, well, that doesn't sound like it could be fun enough. I'm not even going to bother with setting it up and getting it out of the box. Just give it a shot, right? Because this one, for me, the word that comes to my mind when I talk about it is that it's surprisingly enjoyable. Didn't think it would be one that would really impress me, and yet it did. Sam, for you as a non-gamer, I feel like this is kind of a dumb question to ask, because usually when I ask you, what was it like to wrap your head around this game and to understand the strategy, I don't even know how to ask you that question with this game, because
it's pretty straightforward. It's a card game, but it is enjoyable. It's not to say it's not Go Fish or anything like that. It's enjoyable. It's a different concept, but it is a card game.
Mm-hmm. And I think when Sam says it is a card game, usually in our experience, when we're playing games or card games tend to be those kind of experiences that are a little bit of a lower level than board games, right? Because board games tend to be this bigger production, lots of components, a lot of theme.
I do feel like this is a higher produced card game.
Yeah.
It is on the higher end of those types of games.
Yeah, and I think with that, the presentation of the game is what does it a lot of good, you know. The artwork is really great with this one. It has that noir theme to it, and I feel like that's an important thing that kind of brings out the gameplay experience just a little bit, because you feel like you really are kind of battling against that other player or that rival gang, that you're trying to control the city, and you're trying to control different suits or whatever you want to call them. And I feel like you do have that a little bit of experience pulled out of a card game experience with this one. So all in all, it's just a really kind of cool experience. I'm not going to say that it's something that's, you know, a huge home run that's going to, you know, earth shattering or anything like that. But I do feel like it's a pretty cool experience with this one. Okay, let's get to pros and cons, and again, we're probably going to keep this real short and sweet with this one, because it is a 15-minute card game. But Sam, for you as a non-gamer, what are some of the bullet points that stand out in a positive way?
I mean, it's just really easy to understand. It's easy to be able to play well the first time, and so I appreciate that. But I do think the production and everything doesn't just lend itself to a non-gamer's game. I think gamers can enjoy this, and it's fun for a lot of a wide variety of people.
Okay, all right. One thing that I'll say about it, and most of the times when we talk about luck in board gaming, or at least from a gamer's perspective, that can be more of a con than it can be a pro. And generally, how I feel about luck in my board games is that I want a dash of luck, I don't want a heaping of luck, and I don't want it to be the main factor that determines win or lose, right?
Yeah.
You do have luck in this game, obviously, because you have cards and you have luck of the draw and you have the order that the cards might come out in. But that is, it's more of a dash than it is a heaping for me in this game. And I like that little bit of a luck factor, because I can't always know what's going to happen next, right? I have an inkling of knowing just based off of what cards have already come out, a little bit of card counting, you know, blackjack, that sort of thing. And so I have a little bit of an idea of what might come out, because I've already seen whatever's come out already. And that can influence a little bit of how I make my choice, but that's not a determining factor that I can bank on. So there is that little bit of a luck, and I like that with this one. Anything about it that maybe doesn't work so great for you?
Never did either one of us get all three of the building cards.
Yeah.
And I want to know how common that actually is.
Yeah.
We tried. I feel like I got close. I started a hand with two of them. But it's just like, do you play it to get other cards?
Right.
And I don't know. Again, that's not really real negative, but being something that could win you the entire game, it doesn't happen very often.
So my thought on that is, and you know, I think if you're somebody who maybe goes into a game that's like, all right, that's the way to win the game, I'm going to have to make that happen.
Exactly how I went into the game.
you might have a disappointing experience with this, because I don't know that unless you're just playing with somebody who's just not bright, or that might have offended some people. If you're playing with somebody who just may make mistakes easily, let's say, I don't see that ever happening, right? I don't see anybody.
I saw it as I can win the game if I do this, point blank.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to do that. And then when I had two of them, I was like, I'm going to do that. And then it never happened.
Yeah. So like, if I see that you have a city card, or if you have two city cards, there's no way I'm going to let you try to get that other one, right?
They're in my hand. You never saw them.
So, but I feel like there are ways to, if you play smartly, right? Now, obviously, again, luck is a factor with this, right? And I can't know for certain what's going to happen, but I can have an idea, right? I have to expect maybe she's got that city card in her hand. Maybe she's got two, right?
She's got three. She's not bright.
I've got to play in a way to prevent you from being able to just, boom, boom, I win the game, right? Like, I've got to play that way, right? So I don't know that that's really something that you can ever really expect to happen, but maybe it will happen, right? I don't know. For me, I like that aspect of it. I like that there's that intrigue of, oh, should I go for this? I don't know if it'll work out.
Every time, or even every fifth time, and somebody won that way, it probably wouldn't be as enjoyable. But I'm just saying, I had to. Would have been nice.
All right, scale of 1 to 10, love to hate. Where does District Noir come in at for you?
I think we need to put it on a card game scale.
Sure.
We're not going to put it with every other board game that we've ever played. But in terms of card games, I would probably put it pretty high. I'd probably give it a 7.6.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think where I'm going to kind of scale this one in at is in terms of the small portable games that we could throw in a bag and play on the road, camping, at a convention, just, easily can take with you and play at a moment's notice, For me, this one hits a lot of marks because it's not going to be hard for me to teach. It's not hard for me to have a refresher, right? If I need to refresh the rules for Sam, or if I even need to refresh the rules for myself, I can take a real quick look at that rule book and be like, okay, yeah, I remember how to play this game. Let's go, right? And the goal is simple. The turn cycle is very simple, and yet it's very enjoyable. There's a lot of fun that comes out with what's the next card, what's she playing, what is she trying to do here, and just trying to figure that out, read the other person. A lot of fun with this one. I'm going to give it a 7.8. I really enjoy the thinking that goes along with this kind of game and the back and forth battling of playing the cards and figuring out when is she going to claim cards? When am I going to claim cards? Do I claim now? Do I wait? Do I see what she's about to put out there? That's a lot of fun. So 7.8, 7.6, you said?
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. That's our thoughts on District Noir. The game is from Pandasaurus Games. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you think about this one.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.